Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live for Crypto Waffle episode 11, and today's topic are Trump turmoil, multi-sigs, and then obviously an update on the macro landscape. Obviously, I think the biggest thing on everyone's mind at the minute is one, we just had Trump's inauguration speech and the Trump token that got released, 72 hours ago? Anything like that.
Melania last night as well.
Yeah.
Wife's one.
So did you manage to get anything on Trump first?
I got a tiny bit of Trump, not even enough. Well, I got a tiny bit of Trump, but not enough. Not as much as I should have done. And I got none of Melania. I sat and watched it, and then I'd had enough.
So I'll quickly share my screen. I looked at Trump, and it must have been 11 o'clock. I'll share my screen now. So you should be able to see my screen. So I was looking at Trump here. Literally, I loaded it up. I think it was a Saturday night, about 11, 10 o'clock. And I saw this bull flag, and I was like, I should be buying this here. I decided not to. I woke up, obviously, it got to lunchtime, and I was kicking myself. But hey-ho. And then you've seen, obviously, about 180% rally. And then, like you say, we saw this big sell-off, which initially you've seen some decent bounces, to be honest. And that you could class technically as a big bull flag. And then, like you say, is it how do I pronounce it?
Melania. It's up there. It's the one that's right next to Trump up in the top, I think.
So, Melania.
She goes.
Like you, I didn't get into this one. It was literally happening. I saw everyone fucking tweeting whilst I was driving to work, and I was like, I should really pull over and just lump something in quick. But then I was like, nah, I'm just going to let it run. Which is sort of a decent move to begin with. If you manage to get in early days, it's highly unlikely you didn't get in down here. Let's say you got in there. You still could have done 3, 4, 5x maybe.
If you somehow knew to sell the top.
Yeah. Otherwise you would have been just holding, and you'll now be flat pretty much.
Yeah. I saw it first at around 5.
Yeah.
I first laid eyes on it at around 5, and it hadn't been out for long by that.
I think it was 120 when I saw it, and I was like, oh, no.
But that was early then.
Yeah. But then because it was that early, I don't think I would have been able to get any orders in anyway. It was this here. It's just getting hammered up and down, up and down. I don't think anyone could get anything in, because I remember seeing on the timeline on Twitter, could get anything in this early stage.
You're right, because I tried. Yeah. I did try. What I tried to do, I'm remembering now, what I tried to do was I tried to rotate from my Trump into Melania. I thought, what I'll do, I'll rotate my Trump into Melania. I'll leave it overnight. I'll wake up in the morning. I'll sell Melania, and I'll go back into Trump. And I couldn't buy Melania with the Trump. It wasn't working. I was using Radium, and it was just saying no, consistently saying no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I gave up on it. Yeah.
We saw that rotation though, like literally happen in real time, because as that come out, you then had that massive Trump drop. What was it, like 60 pence, something like that? So.
Really, actually, do you want to show you the chart, or shall I?
Oh, you go for it, mate.
Let me.
Because we have seen a lot of tokens, or the ones we've been talking about as of recently, are down pretty big.
Right, yeah. So let's take my hero token, which is AI16Z. Let me go here. Right, let me share my screen first of all. Open system settings. I'll share Google Chrome. Modify settings. Okay, let's see if that works. Select which tab. I'll share this tab. All right. Can you see that?
Yeah, all good.
Right. Okay. So as you know, we spoke last week that I got in around $2 on here. Terrible entry, but it was a case of this is the golden, this is the golden boy for me anyway.
Yeah.
I think it was, no, this is not right, is it?
You stuck it on long.
There we go. Yeah, so it was up here. I got in around here, right? Then it's come all the way down and it's touched the dollar. And then we are kind of where we are now. When it was floating around the dollar, it went up to, well, no, it went up to like 150 around here. And then it came back down to here. So anyway, so I'm flirting with getting in on this project at around $1. So I'm literally watching it like a hawk. And every time it goes up by a few percentage, I'm thinking, I should have got it. Shouldn't have got it. But I'm hoping I get like maybe 80. I'm hoping I get maybe down to 80. And then I'll enter then. And then when the first Trump coin came out was here. And I think it was like 9 o'clock. No, it was like, was it like 1 o'clock in the morning? It came out, it was late at night.
Yeah, like 2 a.m. our time.
So this is yesterday's one. This is Melania's one that came out yesterday at 9 o'clock. And you can see the liquidity just got sucked out of AI16Z.
Yeah, a lot of big tokens had.
Most tokens had that crazy dump as soon as that happened. I can't see where the other one was. It might be. I can't see where the other one was, but it might be here. I think it was here. And most tokens had that crazy dump as soon as the Trump coins have come out. And it seems like this Trump guy is just squeezing liquidity from every other token in the space. So if we're not fast, we are tending to be.
Yeah. A lot of see a lot of people complaining about Solana being stuck and people still having transactions waiting from yesterday. Still. So I mean, I'm on the subject of AI16. I've got a bid box, but it's not far away from it now. So I'll quickly just share that in. That's so people can see around the 45 to 55 cents. You can see. So we've had this falling wedge pattern. This is, if this falling wedge is to hit target, we should come to down here. Or the lower boundary, which is a very harsh drawdown. I mean, we're already sitting at 66% and we had a max drawdown of around 72. But that's not the only thing that's been hit. We've literally had everything.
Everything's been hit.
Yeah, you've had GOAT as well. GOAT has been hit hard.
Right. Do you know what? I'll tell you what we should do, or what I'll do, is I'm going to explain what's happened, because some people might not be watching the markets like the feverish hawks that we are. So on Friday night, President Donald Trump, just before his inauguration, launched his own meme token. So we've got meme tokens like Goatsius that we're showing the chart for now, Doge, and all those other meme tokens. President Trump has launched his own, but there are already 100 Trump tokens. Like, there's loads of unofficial ones, but he's launched his own official token, and it's just ripped off to billions of dollars in valuation. The controversy being, we don't know if this is legal or not legal. Gary Gensler just left the building, but if he was still in the building, you can bet your life somebody would have got arrested, because he was like, you're not allowed to just do what you like. But Gary Gensler's left, and luckily Donald Trump is pretty much untouchable. So he's released this coin, and it's everybody who's trading anything else, they've all stopped what they're doing, they've sold that, and they've gone to buy this Trump coin. So what we've seen is all these other speculative projects all get quite harsh drawdowns in value, and then Trump coin has gone and rocketed. Some coins were exempt from that. SPX 6900, interestingly, had a very small dip, considering how big it was and how speculative you'd expect it to be. Everything else got hammered. Then last night, the night before his inauguration, whilst they were doing some sort of party or something was going on, some kind of pre-inauguration party, his wife has then released her token. Now, she tweeted about...
They weren't actually at the party, were they?
I thought they were. I didn't watch it. I just knew it was on.
I didn't think they were actually at the party. I think it was just all their guests.
Right. Okay.
From what I understood from what I saw on Twitter.
She's released it, and initially a lot of people are like, is it a scam? Has she been hacked? Which is the first thing people think because it's happened so much. Then he also tweets it on his account. Now, when Donny T tweets on his account, it's like it's mustard, it's magic. Like, you know, it's going to be a fact. He's got 9 million followers. And
that team been hacked as well. Then.
Yeah, exactly. And it's his friend Elon's playground. You can't, that would just be super embarrassing for the both of them. So everybody knew it was real at that point. But again, all the liquidity got sucked out. So what we're now seeing is that overall, the entire market is down. The entire crypto market is down. Bitcoin is up, and these two meme coins are up, and maybe one or two others.
I only think Bitcoin's been up, though, because of the potential of it being mentioned today in his speech, which obviously we haven't seen.
No.
And then I think the other two tokens, obviously, it just shows how strong of a presence or person that he actually is, because people have sold off Doge, WIF, SHIB, ETH, literally everything.
Yeah, everything for hammered. Solana also went up because these two tokens are on the Solana.
Radium and Jupiter went up as well.
Yeah. So,
question in the chat. What's a worse feeling? Not buying a coin that goes and rockets, or buying a coin which you think is going to absolutely fly but then drops like crazy?
Not buying a coin.
I don't know. It depends how you personally think about it. Because if you don't buy a coin and it goes mental, you're constantly depending on if you overthink this stuff or not. But you could be working out, well, what if I put this in? If I'd entered there, I would have a flow. Whereas I don't think like that. It's like, it's because I can't remember the book I read. I can't remember what it is, but there's a famous quote, and there's always another trade. There is always another trade. No matter what it is, or what scenario you think you're in, there is always another option for another thing for you to invest in.
I tend to think, okay, but then I would have got that too. So I always, when I miss stuff, I much rather buy a coin and I lose 90% on it than not buy a coin and it doubles. I would much rather actually lose the money than make the money. Because in my head, I'm starting to think, I could have bought a car. And I started to think of all these silly, frivolous things I would have done.
I don't even get to that stage. I'm like, it's gone. I'm just honest with myself. I'm just like, right, I've missed it. What's next?
Well, eventually, at some point, yeah, you have to draw the line. So even though I'm saying that, it feels a lot worse for me. But yeah, hindsight, there's always
the money in and they lose.
Yeah, got to stay within this box, haven't you? Of like,
when you're making an investment, you can give yourself what they call a mental stop loss. So say you put in £1,000. If it draws down to 500, you're like, right, I'm out. I'm just taking the loss. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
And then you can look to rotate your remaining capital into where you want to put it.
So what I done with Trump was I saw it at 10, maybe 15 or something. When I woke up Saturday morning, I saw it. What I then done was by about lunchtime, I think it had gone up to like 20. And I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to buy a little bit. I'll just buy something. So if it does make some money, maybe I'll have enough money. I'll go and have a meal or something on Donald Trump. And that's what I've done. And it's strange because even though I haven't made enough money off of it for it to be a factor for my portfolio, I still feel good that I made something. It still feels like a moral victory. I still feel like, I'm a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you've also got risk on in that area effectively, which is where you want it at the minute. You've got someone that's acting like that, and if he comes out and then does obviously talk about a Bitcoin special reserve or Bitcoin strategic reserve, whatever you want to call it, it will be bullish, I would have thought, for Bitcoin, the Bitcoin ecosystem, and his own token.
The problem I've had with this whole play of the Trump token and the Melania token is that I feel like this time it's different. I think that this has never happened before. We've never had the most important man on the planet launch a meme token. It's like you would assume it's beneath him. You would assume he's got Israel and Gaza. See him, he's got Israel and Gaza to sort out. Like he's almost 100 years old. You would assume it would be beneath him to come to us and grift his coin, but he has, and it's an opportunity. But no one's ever done that before. Like Richie Sunak wouldn't do it. Keir Starmer wouldn't. These guys, they wouldn't do it. I think the shame would hold them, but he's just like, to heck with it. And it's been a difficult one to play because the question is, how big does it get? And another important thing is he hasn't released all of the tokens. They've only released, I think, 20% of the tokens. So they've got a lot more of the token to release. And depending how they release it, it might be an airdrop to his NFT holders. It might be a get your ID and we'll give it to American citizens. Like, we don't know how he's going to release that other massive amount of money, which is, I don't know, like 40 billions worth of dollars now. We don't know how he's going to release it. So how do we play it? Do we play it? We buy it now. If we buy it now and then he dumps on our heads and we lose all our money, then what happens next? So we've had to tread carefully, I think.
Because the other thing that I think we need to draw a bit of attention to is also is it the World Liberty Finance?
Yeah, which flopped, which nobody cared about. But I suppose he hadn't won by then, had he?
They've been buying a lot of stuff in the recent days. So I managed to find a chart here. So have a look at this.
I know they've been loading up on Ethereum.
This is their holdings as of current. They've been smashing Ethan. Aave and Link, I think, are the big ones to take away. Obviously, there's some smaller ones there, like Tron and then ENA and Ondo. But I think the bigger ones to take away here are definitely ETH, Aave, and Link. So,
whoa, hold on. So, wait, is that their wallet? Have they bought all of those things, or has somebody been smart?
Yeah,
and
so
so
from what I believe, yeah.
Because what's that rect? REKT.
I'm sure they've probably got small dust like that sitting in there. Rock there as well, haven't you?
Somebody like who wants to pump their wrecked bags might send them $8,000 of wrecked.
Yeah.
In the hope that it pushes up more bad.
There was also that tweet, I think, from his son yesterday that said, "Wait until you hear what they release tomorrow." Wasn't there, or something like that?
Yeah, but does that mean was that his mum's coin? Or still, no. Was that
he tweeted that yesterday, I think, in anticipation for about the inauguration, which obviously we then haven't heard anything, and everyone's thinking, oh, it's going to be something there. Unless you're right, and it was, I can't remember if his tweet was before or after that. I mean, I think today his speech, I don't know what your takeaways are from it, but I think the biggest takeaway, obviously, what's relevant to what we've been discussing, is he talked about using the gold and the oil that's under his feet, having vast resources in America. Ultimately, that's very good because he's moved prices down for the US and whatnot, but that is bearish the dollar. And now we've talked about the dollar having to be bearish for a while now. I'm sharing the wrong screen. I'll share a chart on the dollar quickly, but we've been talking about this dollar putting a top in. We haven't had the opportunity as of yet to say it is successfully in, because this is the dollar. We've talked about this being the top. I think when markets reopen, which I don't think they reopen till tomorrow now, I reckon we see a sell-off in this.
Yeah, they're on holiday today, aren't they?
Yeah. I think we could see a sell-off. And also, he's also talked about the card, didn't he? I think you see Tesla maybe open up. Talking about cars.
But he said he's going to remove all the subsidies for electric and get the good old American motor industry going again. So I don't know if he was talking about combustion engines. I understood that as he was talking about like petrol, diesel, and all that.
I took it as if it's bullish all car companies in the US.
Okay.
That's what I took it for. I wasn't trying to look into it that much. I'm just thinking, right, big car companies in America, you've got Tesla and there's another electric one underneath it. I can't remember the name of it now. Obviously, then you've got Elon Musk sitting on Doge. He's actually launched the Department of Government Efficiency, which is now a thing.
I think it'll be super interesting for everybody now if China and America do actually go head to head on who can build the most stuff and sell it the cheapest. I think it'd probably be quite bad for the environment, but it'll be good for our bag.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it all. I just don't know. It's such an unclear environment, and if we're feeling like this, as like obviously we're still bullish for long, right? We're not stupid, but the hedge funds, pension funds, they're all going to be uncertain as well. Until we get a shift in direction of where it is, then I think we just see chop. And that to be fair, that opens from the podcast I've been watching from yesterday and today that I've managed to listen to, is they have talked about a lot of chop in 2025. They've talked about maybe the S&P could be in a topping process, just putting out a long sideways chop. And it just being kind of uncertain.
I think from today's speech, the one thing that I think removes a lot of the uncertainty was when he said, drill, baby, drill. I think when he said drill, baby, drill, I felt like I could feel the dollar pooping its pants. I could feel it. Like the dollar just looked below it and it was like, right, now we're heading down.
Oil also puts a lot of pressure on inflation, doesn't it, if prices are high? So inflation numbers, I know obviously this will be seriously lagging in any indicators, but a low oil price is good for inflation. So,
yeah, and they've got oil, albeit it's not the greatest quality oil, but they've got it. So
yeah,
they should.
He talked about filling up the reserve again, didn't he?
Yeah. And to be honest, like in a roundabout, I know we're supposed to be speaking about crypto, but in a roundabout geopolitical way, it is probably good for everyone if America doesn't try to impose its will on the Middle East and that part of the world by weakening or by giving away its own manufacturing to China and giving away its own energy to the Middle East and buying in not oil. They've got their own oil. You dig up your own oil, make your own stuff, leave everybody else alone, and then let's see where everybody lands. And I think we might get possibly a more peaceful outcome. I don't know. I do think though, overall, despite Trump coin dumping basically right at the end of his speech, I do think it was bullish for crypto, mostly because
I think it will be
a bearish dollar.
I mean, yeah, I think we will be. I mean, I've got some charts here from the slide deck that I have. Where is it? Let's do this. So, can everyone see that?
Yep.
So this is the Bitcoin cycles. Obviously, it tells you here 2010 in black. And so on our current cycle is if you can see that, try and zoom in a little bit, this little line here. So we are currently here. We're around the last cycle, 2018 to 2021, as of current, but also sort of tracking 2015, 2018, from say here in the chart. Obviously, I don't know where that relates to in the cycle, but I would say we're on track. I wouldn't say we're way above, way below average. Obviously, not to say we haven't got some sell-offs, like maybe like this or like this to come. But it's still ultimately, I think, for the majority of this year, looking pretty bullish. And there's another chart here that I find very helpful. And also, if you're colorblind, sorry, you won't be able to see it. But historically, you can see fall. So every time we go into fall, we have had an acceleration. Be it last year, we saw an acceleration, a deep pullback, and a second acceleration. The previous cycles, you've seen massive expansions. So I don't know what comes from here. I know this yellow summer phase here was kind of boring for the majority of it, because it was 7 months we were in sideways to down before ultimately breaking out. But I think because we've had such a long period here and are now still chopping again at the moment, I think we could start off the year pretty bullish. Then there's one more here I wanted to cover, which is obviously M2. And I've showed this before. breakout, retest, breakout, retest, breakout, retest. What happens next? A retest has occurred, so we should be in the phase of the next breakout. So I think all things are bullish. I think the other thing that I've been hearing in the macro world is, obviously, I think they're waiting for something to break before going gung-ho on, obviously, that debt wall that they need to refinance.
I think they've got the perfect man in charge when it comes to somebody who's prepared to break something. He just said he's going to take the Panama Canal back from China.
And then call the Gulf of Mexico.
He does what he likes. He just does what he likes. So I think something's going to have to happen. There needs to be a narrative reason. For me, that's what I'm going with. There needs to be a narrative reason for them to turn the printer on. That they need to have a narrative reason. He may just say, look, it's in our own interest that we start printing money. We need to print money. It's what we need to do. He may just say that. I don't know how the markets will react to it, but everybody kind of knows it anyway. So, I mean,
my gut is telling me we're still due a flush, but then my head is saying you can't afford to be waiting for a flush, because at any moment this could just go.
Such a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
Such a horrible feeling.
It is difficult because obviously when you're trying to position like this, so I mean, what I've personally done is where I had a bit of cash from profits from like XRP, H-bar and some other stuff that had been popping, I've actually allocated about 60 to 70% of those profits now and kept 30 in case we do get a drawdown. Because I feel the bigger risk here is to the upside. And if anyone is like me and they have an income, you also have money coming in. So it's not like you're going to have nothing to be able to put in. But I think the big risk here is obviously I'm looking at it from a personal point of view, is I need to be having as much risk on as possible rather than nothing for what I feel is the final stages of this run.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think we got one last year. Okay, so if you were going to allocate, let's make it nice and simple now. If you were going to allocate to 3 different projects this week, what would your 3 projects be?
Is the goal for this allocation to make some quick money, get out?
Yeah. Which good projects do you think have been battered the hardest and will recover?
But one of them, I think, is WIF. Right, it's a meme coin. We know we're in the meme cycle, but I will quickly just show my chart. It has been battered. Right, it's I think it's the biggest soul meme to be screwed. Right, it is on the floor. Oh, wrong chart here. I'm lagging a bit now. This is WIF. This is on a monthly, bear in mind. Each candle here represents 1 month of trading. So a weekly might be a bit clearer, but this is WIF. We had this massive expansion, obviously, from where it started, which was late 2023, I believe, early 24. And since then, we've literally just been chopping around between $4 to $1. It's been very boring, very painful. I was actually very bullish up here. I think we were going to get a break and didn't. And since then, we've literally just sold off. And I think WIF offers one of the best risk to rewards here. So obviously, assuming we go back to all-time highs and beyond, so all-time highs is 233%. I actually have targets all the way up to $12, which from current price is around an 8.5x.
Interestingly, Murad has got this thesis around memes. Now, WIF isn't one of Murad's memes, is it?
No, it's not. But then, to be honest, I haven't got any of Murad's memes. Me personally, I don't think I've got any of them. Another one, so in the AI space, I think it will be Tau.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't personally own this because I'm slightly further out on the risk curve, but Tau, I believe, offers a great opportunity. We're in currently what you'd be classed as a broadening wedge or a megaphone pattern. And we're at the lower boundary of it. So the way I like to look at these sort of things, and for anyone new here, if you're investing here now at $121, your max downside. So to me, I do not see TAL maybe coming back down to 280-ish. Again, let's say. It could be for more than just any reason, but you've got a massive area of support on the weekly here. And that would be the lower boundary of the broadening wedge. I'd also expect buyers to come in at that price anyway. So let's say worst case scenario, TAL went to 220. Okay. Your downside on your £1,000, let's call it investment into this, is 50%. Your upside from here is literally, you name it. Where's it going? 2 grand, 3 grand, 4, 5? I don't know. But your odds, let's say, are a lot better buying here than where we were earlier in the year or late last year. Because a lot of people going, oh yeah, but I'm going to wait for a 10% drawdown. I'm going to wait for a 20% drawdown. What is the point? You've got a longer term view. There is no need for you to be waiting. Like I think I've said this story on here before. There was a guy, so I was on a Zoom call back before we broke out of this here on Solana. And one of the guys on the call goes, oh, so-and-so has just sold all his Solana. And he literally sold it here. Okay. He goes, oh yeah, it's going to come up and I'm looking for a 20% pullback. I'm looking to buy around 145 or whatever it was at the time. Okay. He didn't get it. He was completely out the market and then sold ripped to 264. Like, no one knows with great certainty, unless you're a really good trader, where these markets are going in the shorter term. Like, this is why I look at everything. And when you look at my charts, it's all on a weekly, monthly, daily view. I'm not looking at a 5 minute, a 15 minute, an hourly. Like, that's just not me. So I think TAL, and then one for, let's have a look. And then if Sol keeps doing well, I actually really like Radium here.
It's near its time highs though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the only issue. So if you're looking to buy something that's beaten up and on Sol, Render's not a bad pick. But then I have actually started to get a bit bullish on ETH. So I also quite like the look of Pepe here, or ETH memes.
What's making you bullish on ETH?
Just because everyone's getting bearish. Everyone's saying they're done with it. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it wouldn't surprise me if ETH comes down to, say, 2K again. But if we put in a lower low than these lows here, everyone would be shitting themselves.
Yeah.
Like, literally. But what I can see happening is you have a case of a fake out, but on a bigger time frame. So you could have, the month of February, a wick down to here, and then by the end of the month, you close back up. And then that is where it begins. That is where the ETH outperformance will begin.
Judging by that pattern, it looks like something's going to happen soon.
Yeah, we're getting tight.
We're getting tight now.
We are literally being squeezed. Like, if I get rid of these squiggles, we've got a smaller wedge here. We had this breakout, obviously didn't get confirmed. Come back in, we had this head and shoulders, which we didn't get confirmed. I mean, initially on the daily, that head and shoulders looked to be confirming as we come down. But on the same day or the day after, we managed to close back in. So we're now just within this little wedge again, within a bigger wedge, and you're just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. But eventually this will break, and whichever way it breaks, it should be a fast, vicious move. But I think if it's to the downside, it creates a big opportunity for anyone. So I'd be looking at ETH memes. I quite like Turbo. I mean, it's already been a winner for me this cycle. Where is it here? And you're up reasonably high, but we have just lost a key area of support. So this green box was support, and now it looks like we're coming back into here. So you could see Turbo come down another 50% from where it is now.
Yeah.
So I think if we get another flush, I personally won't be buying because, like I said, I haven't got much to fully allocate. But I've chosen my things. I'm sticking with it, but I do like them. I like this Eve stuff here.
Yeah, those are some good picks. I think the key is, I was speaking to my friend today, the key is that days like today is when you should do your shopping. It's days like today when everything's red is when you should be buying, because really the entrance point matters. Even though I've bloody been in the game for years, I still made that mistake the other day with AI16Z at $2. And I was like, I love this token, but there was no entry point. So I tried to force one, and if I'd have waited, I'd have got twice as much.
Yeah, it's hard to do. I mean, and that's the trouble. So if you're a new person and come into this space, like, you may not look at the charts and that, but you might watch people on YouTube and whatnot, and they're like, oh yeah, but I'm waiting for it to come down to 10, 20% from here, now I'm looking to buy it. If you're a new investor, do not do what they're doing. They obviously have some other experience on top of you. If, for example, and I'll share my screen again now, so render's another good example of this. Don't wait for the perfect entry. Right? You think you're buying here, right, at $6 and it looks cheapish, right? At least you weren't buying up here at $12. At least you didn't buy up here at $13, because you would be down 50-odd%.
Yeah.
If you buy here, yeah, sure, you could go down 50%, right? But you're not buying the top.
Yeah.
So it's harder when you're looking at the stuff like Solana, because you are literally on the teeters tops of all-time highs.
Yeah.
Like, we get a weekly close above here, we're off to the races, effectively. AI16Z, it's not a bad spot to enter here. Like, it's not. Yes, there's further downside, and I talked about it earlier. Like, we could have another drop down to here, another 50%. But at least you didn't buy, unfortunately, where you did, here, and you're already weathering a 62% drop.
Yeah.
Like, it's not easy to do this. Like Jupiter, the token as well. Everyone's talking about the big Jupiter unlocks. Everyone's a bit scared and whatnot. You're just in a massive wedge. Like, yeah, sure, there's some downside room, but at least you weren't buying at $1.80.
Yeah.
Like, there is always someone who's bought these tops. Always. Pith, another one. Great one that I've been buying. Look, you're down from $1.11. You are down 70-odd% from the prior highs. Do not kick yourself about buying here and then going negative.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting a good entry. Just look at the broader perspective.
Yeah. So, and that was one of the things that I've done. I've made a few good purchases like that where I've bought when it's way below. I'll show you actually what my current darling, I've not bought it now, but I'm looking at it, like looking at this one sideways. It is, let me share. FXN.
Yes, I've been monitoring.
Why can't I type in here? Yes, I can. FXN. So I originally got in on this bad boy at 3.5 cents, and it's now down to 2.7. But from 3.5, it went up to like 10 cents. So, like, I've already got in and got out of it, and now it's come back. So I'm thinking, okay, I got in, I got out. Now it's come back. Do we do the same dance again? And
I look to enter here. On my charts, it looks good. You're currently just above a bid box. I mean, we've already tapped what I call the bid box.
So I'll show it on. I always think that things look a little bit better in the CoinGecko terminal. So yeah, so I really like this one.
I mean, the only thing technically that I'm looking at, which I can show you in a second, is there might be a head and shoulders as well. And that head and shoulders takes you back down to below 1 cent.
Oh, hold on. It's not showed the other thing, has it? I've not shared the...
Oh, it's still on CoinGecko.
Yeah, I wanted to share this one. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll let you do it.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say was the thing with this one is that it's not so much the chart. So I like the entry point, but with FXN, they just won. I don't think I spoke about it last week, but they just won second place in the Solana AI hackathon. They came second, and
I saw that.
yeah, that's a big deal. So that means that the project's mustard.
You've got good developers, obviously.
Yeah, the project's mustard. So it's mustard, and it's at 27 million, and it will be the eBay of.
Oh, they also partnered with AI16Z. Yes. Yeah. So this is what I'm looking at. We are in what you could class as a ascending channel. We're at the lower end of the channel. This daily candle obviously hasn't closed yet, so there's no confirmation of this. If this is to close here, and then tomorrow, I mean, you'd probably be better zoomed in a little bit, like a 4 hour. So the 4 hour, we've come into my bid box, a green box, that has been eaten up so far. Ideally, we'd want to see this close back in. If this closed back in, you could class that as a fake out. So if tomorrow's candle closes back in here, we should then see an extended move to the upside. But obviously if we get a breakdown and this head and shoulder target completes, you're looking all the way down here. And something that I'm trying to learn at the minute is in the technical field is wicks being filled. So like in a stock, when a stock opens up big, you have what they call a gap. Gaps historically get filled. Not all gaps do, but no one knows when or when. But they are very good areas to have limit orders in or to pick up some stocks if and when they're there. And I'm learning the same sort of thing as with crypto, but with large wicks. So like this wick here, maybe this wick here, and I think potentially this wick here. Hence why I've highlighted them as bid boxes in this area. Also, they normally are around key areas of support. So FXN, a couple of things to be wary of. I think I'd wait for 2 daily closes to close back in here before I'd then think about if you do leverage trading, doing a long or buying a token.
So from a fundamentals point of view, I feel like this project, from a fundamentals point of view, can go to 2.5 billion in my mind, right? So from a fundamentals point of view, it becomes essentially an exchange for AI agents, literally for them to deal with each other, for them to trade amongst themselves. For that reason, I feel like if they get to mainnet and a couple agents start to use it, you see 10x. And that's still only a 250 million market cap. That's still not crazy. When we're at the heights of silly season, you might see a couple of billion. So I think taking that into account, as well as the fact that even if we hit the second bid box that you've got there, we're still down 50% or whatever.
I mean, when I'm drawing this stuff, don't read into it too much, because these are obviously just potential possibilities. Because what you could also say here is that you actually do have maybe an inverse head and shoulders forming, potentially. So this could be your left shoulder. If we get a deeper correction here, this could be your head. We could maybe come up and create a nice bigger head and shoulders bottom before we continue. Or, I mean, that might not even be actually allowed as a head and shoulders top. So that could just be a wedge that we're in. But that wedge, whichever way it breaks, tells you in the direction it's going. But I think an easier play for maybe you non-crypto native people, if they are partnered with AI16Z, is you just buy them, because they're probably a lot easier available on the big exchanges.
But already at 940 million market cap. And that's the problem, not problem so much that I have with it, but
I still think that could do a 10x.
Yeah.
Which I think for anyone that's normal watching this is more than satisfactory.
Yeah. That's true.
For us, it might not be, but
I'll take it, because with something like this, you'd put more money in because it's bigger.
Yeah.
so it's less likely to vanish. They're working on their V2, which should be out in the next few weeks. The good thing is they do these things, right, which for me, it's perfect, where every week they'll have like a roundup of what they've been working on during the week. And they'll have like different people from different parts of the community come on and say what they've been working on. But now also some of their core people will show what they've been working on. And the main guy, Shaw, he had a meltdown on Twitter last week, told someone to perform a quite rude act on him. Like, he was like, yeah, you this, whatever. And people were kind of getting at him like, oh, that's not professional, or we hate Shaw, this, that, and the other. But anyway, he's not a crypto native guy. So he's come into the space and tried to be nice to everybody. But anyway, he does these live streams where he's actually coding. So he spent a couple of hours the other night, and I was sitting with him, obviously not with him, me and like 500 other people, as he's coding through. So he's got like a command line interface for V2. So we're getting to actually see them building it like live kind of thing. So we know it's not vaporware. We know it's coming eventually. And I think stuff like that really helps me to buy into the project. And FXN do similar things. So from a fundamentals point of view, I really do like AI16Z.
Yeah. I still think AI memes is the place to be. Yeah. I hate to say it, but that is, I think, the place to be. And if you're looking for the highest risk ones, you want to look at the stuff that's been beaten up the most.
Yeah. And especially when it's little. So it's being beaten up.
Even some of the bigger ones, I still think you could do well out of whiff. I still think you could get a decent amount of X's out of whiff if you wanted to hit it with size and maybe didn't want to take as much risk as, say, a smaller meme. I think the opportunity is still there. Obviously, we're just waiting for things to align up a bit better.
Do you feel that with the memes now, that a meme has to have a narrative?
No.
You think the meme
just capture enough attention? That's all we did. And well, we've seen that with Trump as well, haven't we? Like, we've literally, it hasn't got a narrative apart from it's the US president launched it, and it's just attention. Like, we've seen this before the Trump token, it was AI agents.
Yeah.
Before AI agents, it was whatever it was. And it's just money sloshing around, going from one place to another. And then it will probably find its way back into more memes. I mean, Trump's one has worked. And then AI projects as well, going into the
Quick spicy take before we move on. I was thinking today that now that Trump has released this meme coin in the most brutal and securities-like scammy fashion that you can possibly release a meme coin, do we think now that other people will release meme coins following the exact same playbook? Other American people won't be feeling like they will have to get away with it because he's done it. And if they do it exactly the same, how can they not? So, like, for example, Kim Kardashian or Andrew Tate, like, just people who are mega famous, like especially Andrew Tate, decides.
It depends what they do with them, though, because like a Kim Kardashian meme token, right? Just from what I know of her, like, she has her own cosmetic brands and whatnot. If you owned, I don't know, 10,000 Kim K tokens, you could get maybe 10% off in the shop or in your next order. They actually have an intrinsic value to them. So if you're a holder, you could get access to new lines of stuff that no one can get in the shops or whatever it is. So if these people like them do that, I can see this working. Like, I can see every big brand or every person that has or sells something having their own token.
But remember, these are memes we're talking about. So that could be an extra. Like, so if it's someone like Andrew Tate who maybe doesn't have anything to sell, he might just do it and let his meme run to, it probably won't go like Trump's has gone, but it might go to 200 million, like almost immediately.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. And he holds 80% of it. He's done all right.
There's nothing to stop him getting rid of it all, is there?
Nothing. There's nothing to stop him doing the exact same release schedule as what Trump is doing. Every few months, you just release a few more for whatever reason. Then you do NFTs on the side. Like, now, I feel like Trump has made it so everybody can come and do Wild West in the cryptosphere.
Yeah.
And I heard someone saying today that people are starting to complain and say, yeah, we need Gary Gensler back, because now Trump and all these other crypto people are just going to start ripping each other off. I guess it'll be interesting to see, but it's something that I am now trying to be more diligent on Twitter with. So if I see Andrew Tate has launched a coin, I'm on top of it. Or if somebody famous launches a coin, I'm going to jump on top of it. And I think somebody will. Somebody has to. Andrew Tate, Snoop Dogg, Joe Rogan, somebody has to.
It's funny you say it, because when he was doing his speech about Mars, and I've talked about this in Telegram, I think there's a token called Mars. I think that's a play. We know Elon Musk and everyone talks about Mars, and in the crypto community, what was everyone's first thought? All token relating to that. So if we are to get a person to land on Mars, at some point, obviously you're not going to know when, but picking up Mars tokens now that seem to hang around a bit like that, or have been around for a while, not a bad shout.
Yeah. So,
Not a bad shout at all.
not financial advice, small pieces, only what you can afford to lose. But yeah, of course, why not?
Right. Do you want to do multi-sig?
Shall we do multi-sig? What was the third thing? Because
Macro. We've kind of covered macro and Trump.
Yeah, we have. All right, let's
Teach me.
let's discuss about multi-sig. Right, so what we're going to do, every week we're going to have a new section where we do actually do something. So it's not just abstract. We are actually getting into the weeds.
Teach you guys how to do some things.
Yeah. Because otherwise we're just talking and people are like, oh yeah, but it's easy for them to say because they know how to do it. So first of all, what is a multi-sig? A multi-sig is... let me see my own face so that I know I'm not looking crazy. A multi-sig is when you have, let's say we have a free wallet multi-sig, and it might be like a 2 or 3 would make more sense, which means that 2 out of the 3 people have to agree on a transaction for it to take place. So I would have a key, you would have a key, and Bob would have a key. Now, think of it like the keys on the old nuclear submarines where everyone has to put in their key at the same time and twist it at the same time to make anything happen. That is a multi-sig. Reason why you would have a multi-sig is that me and you may decide we want to have a Crypto Waffle treasury. And in our Crypto Waffle treasury, we're going to only invest in things that we've spoken about on the show. And if it gets a 5 out of 10 or higher from me for fundamentals and a 5 out of 10 or higher from you for chart and entry price, then we buy it and we just stick it in there. Now, to stop me from just taking all the money and running away, we would have a 2 of 2 multi-sig, which would mean
we both need to agree.
We both have to agree, otherwise the money goes nowhere. So multi-sig, I think, is the safest way to hold your crypto. I think that's how what's the guy's name? Vitalik.
ETH, yeah, they have massive.
Yeah, I think that's how Vitalik holds his crypto. I think he holds it in a multi-sig for the sheer fact he doesn't want someone to come to his house and bash him over the head and say, give me all your money. So it'll be in a multi-sig. So let's use a multi-sig platform. So I like to use...
So first of all, are they anything similar to the traditional cold wallets that we have? Like, do they actually have their own little device, or
no? So basically, they are a web-based tool. So, obviously, you have to install MetaMask on your browser. We won't do that now. But once you've got MetaMask installed, can you see that? How rich I am? $500.
Oh.
Oh, can you not see the $500? It's not showing that.
We've still got safe on the screen.
Right, okay, so that means that the pop-ups aren't showing, which might be an issue. Let me see if I can share my whole screen. There we go. Let me share the entire screen. I've got to open my system preferences again.
Make sure there's nothing that you don't want to share.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's why. On this machine, there is nothing to... it's not. It doesn't want to let me.
Not having it.
Nah, because I need to.
We can recover this next week if it's easier.
No, do you know what? It'll be fine because I can show you anyway, but you just won't see the wallet part.
Okay. I'll take it there is videos for this sort of stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, there are. Okay, so up here in the corner, can you see my mouse?
Your what? Sorry.
My mouse, is the mouse showing? The cursor.
Was that?
It's not showing. Okay.
It's okay. It is showing.
Yeah. So up in the top corner, we've got this MetaMask. You click him, and then you go into MetaMask and do MetaMask screens. So basically, let's say we want to create an account. We will choose an account, and let's call it Crypto Waffle. And let's have it on base Sepolia. That's base's testnet.
So that's your chain, is it?
Yeah. This is the chain. So see how I've opened it up. You can launch on any of these EVMs. There will be one for Solana, but I've never used that one before. I've used this one loads. So let's say we're going to use a testnet because we are good human beings and we don't test on mainnet because that is bad.
What's the difference between a testnet and a mainnet? People
has test tokens, so it won't have real money. So I will have testnet ETH, which will cost you nothing and you can just use. And then you'll have testnet tokens that are on there, which also are worth nothing. Testnets can break. Strange things could happen on them because they are a place for people to test stuff out.
So it's a good place for people to, if they haven't done this before, try it, play around with it before going mainnet.
Yeah. Now, some of these L2s are so cheap, you can test on the actual L2. Like Base is really cheap to use anyway, so you could test on the actual L2. But it's bad practice. Like, it makes you a bad human. All right, so I'm going to copy my address, and this will be the first address. If it will let me paste it in here. Right, so here's the first address. Choose a network. Oh, it's not valid. Why is it not valid?
So where is this address from that you're getting?
From my...
Or from the MetaMask?
Yeah, from my MetaMask. Okay. But this is my actual ETH address, but it's not letting me put it in because it won't let me open the thing properly. Oh, no, hold on. No. I'm crazy because I'm trying to add an existing one. It's not an existing safe account. So create an account is what I want you to do. Crypto Waffle, choose our network. Nice and easy. We will go for base Sepolia. Don't want that. Oh, you could choose multiple networks as well. So you could have your thing on multiple networks. So you might want to buy something on BNB. You might want to buy something on mainnet. You can do it like that.
If you wanted to buy tokens on other networks, you add all the networks that you want.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay. And then for some of them, you need to have, let's say you might need to have multiple little small amounts of ETH in that network so that you can move stuff around. And it might say you need to have a little bit in there so that you can open the wallet on there. But that's okay. That's only a small amount. So, all right. So we've got that. Now we're going to add the wallets. So we've added the first one. I'm just about to add the second one. So click add a new signer.
So this would be, say, me, for example.
Yes. So let's call this one FL. And then we'll put the address in, which will be your address. But obviously it's just enough one of my addresses. Oh no, I can't use that one. Already used that one. Let's use the different one. Obviously addresses have to be the same because it will pick up if you try to use the same address twice. And then you paste. Right, so now you choose the threshold. So we're going to have 2 out of 2 signatures.
How many signatures can you have up here maximum?
Oh, loads. So keep going. Like,
right, okay.
1,000? I don't know. Can't see why they would put a limit on.
Say you had 5. Would you need all 5 people to agree before saying?
So that's why you would choose the threshold. So if you've got 5, you would make your threshold maybe 1 or 5. Well, no, you wouldn't. 2 or 5, or 3 or 5, or maybe 4 or 5, or maybe 5 or 5. But that would be it. Your threshold would be how many signers you need at the same time. So for this one, we'll do 2 of 2. And then we can simply say next. So then you review it, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to pay now or pay later? I think I've got ETH, so I will pay now. I need to change my wallet network. So I've clicked on switch. It's my MetaMask open, but you couldn't see it. And then you click pay now. Let's see if I've got any in there. I may not have. No, I haven't. Oh, that's embarrassing. Okay, so I just have to click pay later. So with some of them, you can click on pay later. And that's it. Your account is almost set. So basically it is set. The only thing is you have to put some ETH in there so that you can pay transactions, so that you can pay transaction fee. And there you have it. So now you've got your wallet and you can see your assets that you've got in there. You can add funds. So here is the new wallet. So if we send funds to there, it will be in our joint holdings. Or if people sent it, so if we had like a charity or something and we was like, this is how you donate to our charity, you could come here and you could do it. I think it's a very good way to save your funds, but also to, I should say, obfuscate them, so that there's no telling who really owns what. It's between the two.
So many wallets.
Yeah, exactly. So that is, in a nutshell, very quickly, how you do multi-sigs. And this is Safe Wallet. They're by the guys from Gnosis Safe, so they're like good. They've been around for ages, and they know their stuff. So that's like had its audits and all that, so you don't have to worry about it being hacked or anything like that. And yeah, that's a great way. Like if you've got a team, great way for your team to hold your funds.
So like with a, say, cold storage device where I don't put everything on one, I have it spread across multiple devices. Would you have the same process with multiple multi-sigs?
You could do, yeah.
You could do, or you would have maybe one multi-sig, and then all of your various devices, you might need to sign with 3 of them to move any of the money out of there. Like no one needs to know who these signers are.
Yeah.
Like, I could have a multi-sig, 5 signatures, all 5 are mine. How did anyone know?
Has it got to be someone else?
Yeah, but someone will see that there's a multi-sig. Oh, he's got his money in a multi-sig. Well, and if you tell them,
How are we going to find everyone else?
wow, yeah, I'll say, well, look, the other guy lives in Australia. You're going to have to go and beat him up as well. And then she lives over there. One of them's gone with Elon. And then eventually they might be like, all right, we'll leave you alone. So I think it is a good safety feature for you to have. And it doesn't necessarily have to actually be 5 different people, just 5 different signatures. So
Very smart.
So that is that. And the next
Just info as well.
Next, we will do liquidity providing next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next week we'll provide some liquidity and earn some money, and we'll come back in a week and see how much we'll earn.
Right. So quickly, just for predictions for last week. So let's get a screen sharing. And then we can run over the screen. Chart, boom. All right, so first up, the daddy, Bitcoin.
I think I got this one right.
Oh, what's happened? Oh, we're lagging. Let me get rid of all these squiggles. So over last week, I said 97k and you said 101. The bottom for last week was 89 and the high was 106. So we were both well within range there. So that was good for us. Second was ETH. You said 2,800. I said 3,180. Last week's low was 2,900. So you were shy, only by $100.
I was a bit too bearish.
It was good though. I mean, you got the direction in it originally. Yeah. I mean, that is still a decent sell-off. And I said 3,180, and we saw a high of 3,210. So again,
Right on the money. Yeah.
sorry, a high of 3,520, not 3,210. That was the quote. Then we had our beloved AI16Z. Now, you said 80 cents. I said $1.20. Again, we had a low of 75, so that was correct, and a high of 164, so nailed it. What's that? 3 for 3?
3 for 3, yeah.
Yeah, Doge. So let me get a Doge chart. I should put these all in their separate chart, to be honest. Separate thing. I said 46 cents, and you said 42. We had a high of 43, so I was off by 2.5 cents odd, and then a low of 31. So
I think that one was easy.
yeah,
Was it?
yeah, you nailed that one. I was a tad bullish. We did the breakout, but didn't get to what I thought we'd get.
Close enough though.
Yeah, so we're both 4 for 4, 4 for 3.
Yeah,
3 for 4. Then we had game. So let me get a game chart up.
game which has to be a strong buy right now. Have you seen it?
This is a crap chart. I'll get the chart up in a minute, but just for last week's thing, CryptoSI said 20 cents. I said 17. We hit a low of 10, so both nailed that one. So just quickly, I will share the screen for our 16Z. Where are we? Not IR16, game.
Game, yeah.
Here we go. So
We've got to be buying this here. How about we buy it?
And you are buying 62% off the prior highs. Also an area of price support. So for me, it's pretty good. I mean, if you watch back, I did have something a bit like this, drawn like a descending broadening wedge, which I still think you could say is intact. Like that there, but on the daily, it doesn't really look as good, but you can see it there. But yes, to me, that's a buy. And if you're buying here, your downside is maybe the second big box, another 50 to 60%. Whereas your upside is even to prior highs, 180.
So the thing that's stopping me from buying here always for me the fundamentals is what is the token actually used for? So I know what the machine does. I know it allows you to create AI agents, but do you have to pay for them in game? Do you have to?
I think from what I understand, be it my knowledge is very small on the fundamental side of the game. From what I understand, is it's a bit like virtuals. So people have to use the game token when they're trying to do whatever with it.
Yeah.
I might be completely wrong.
Yeah.
But that's from what I understand.
Which makes sense. But then, okay, do you know what? It's been on my list of things to try because you can actually use it. So I should just use it and then I'll know when you need the token. But I haven't as yet. So I'm going to use it, see when you actually need the token. And I think it will be a good buy. As we're talking, FXN has gone up to bloody 33.5 cents.
Just wanted to share the virtual chart as well,
which is another buy.
Sure. So we can see here that we are now down 50 odd % from highs. Let me just draw some big boxes in that in. So that would be one for me there. You see in that area is a decent buy in my eyes. There's also, I think you could say, a potential head and shoulders top in there. If that is to break to the downside, for those people that can't see it, there's your left shoulder, there's your head, there's your right shoulder. if that's the breakdown, that takes virtuals to around $1.10. And if I do this on a 4-hour, we might. So another area of interest for me would probably be this area here. So like that. And you can see that that is obviously where the head and shoulders top is. So that's a key area of support in my eyes. So those would be 2 levels I'd be interested in if virtuals got there. But I'm playing game instead of virtuals, so hence why I haven't looked at the chart.
Bought virtuals at $3 on the way down. It came down from 5 to 3 quite sharply. I thought worst case it goes to 2, but by the end of the cycle it probably goes to 10. So I would I need to have this one. So I got a bit. Had a look.
I don't think you'll be kicking yourself down the line.
No, I think that was a good one.
Right. So for next week, we will kick it off with Bitcoin. What do we think?
Drill, baby, drill. Weak dollar, strong Bitcoin. All fingers are pointing to the moon. We get CPI numbers last week. They came out good. Only thing is if the Fed play silly beggars, but I don't think they will. They've been quite predictable so far. Macro looks good. Time of year is good. We just moved into another thing. New year, everybody's bullish. Drill, baby, drill. Bitcoin strategic reserve, 112.
Oh, we're going for a breakout.
We're going for a massive one. We're going big.
Where's let me grab a post-it note quickly. I thought I had a post-it note. Maybe not. So 112, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to say we're still in the range. So until the range is broken. And then last week's close was also back in the range. I'm going to say we could be in for some more chop. So I'm going to go bearish to 94.5. Right, do we want to stick with ETH? Or do you want to switch it up to maybe Sol?
Yes, let's do Sol.
Right, so for a bit of perspective, put it on a monthly, Sol is currently, if we close the month here, breaking out. It will be the highest monthly close ever on Sol if we can last another, 5-6 days. What do you think?
Drill, baby, drill. Sol's going higher. Might hear some talk about ETF, Solana ETF. The meme coins, Trump and Melania, are both on Sol. All of the AI stuff, or not all of it actually, half of the AI stuff is on Sol. Sol is where it's at. It can be controlled, which I think the Americans will like, because it's generally American companies that are holding it, and are the nodes. So I'm gonna say the Americans decide they want to make Sol their champion, and it goes to $280.
Ooh.
I almost said 300, you know. I almost said 300.
I want to go for a retest of this support here. 200.
So sensible. I'm having one of those weeks, I think, where like the blood has rushed to my head.
Well, you've got a bullish steam now, so it's not like you can be bearish.
Yeah, I know. And that's all I need. A little bit of bullish and I go crazy. All right, let me do you say 210 or 200?
Do 200. I think we can see a retest. I mean, this week or this monthly close doesn't close until Friday next week. So I think you've got around 2 weeks.
Yeah, and you never really have breakouts without retests, do you? Like most of the time you get a little...
I think you've got a bit of time.
Yeah.
I think we could have another week boring chop, and maybe the last week is the thing. I don't know.
Remember, Trump's got to make a lot of these executive decisions, so he might come out and say, "Yeah, we need a Bitcoin strategic reserve."
Well, and what I gathered, which is why we saw such a peak in Bitcoin today, apparently there was some leaked documents or something, which is to why it pushed. But obviously, it then was a nothing burger in his speech, and I think that's why we've settled back off.
Okay.
But so what do we want to do next? Last week we did AI16Z. Do you want to do game? Yeah, just find a better chart this time.
Or should we do? Should we do a meme? Should we do with? Have we done?
Where we can do a meme? We'll do 2 memes.
Okay. All right. Let's do game, and then we can do. Yeah, we'll do 2 memes after. So we'll do 1 AI, 2 memes. I think that's
So with
yeah.
Right. What do we think?
I'm going to be sensible now because I've been being Captain Bullish. $180.
Yeah, I think that's sensible.
That is, isn't it? Goes into that buy box. People buy it, and it rallies because everything's rallying.
We've dipped in the box, so it's not like we've not. So 180, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be half sensible with you. I'm gonna say we bounce from in here. So I think we could go as low as maybe 120, and then we probably see it back up at around. Yeah, I'm gonna join you at 180.
Yeah,
I think that's good. So then do you do one more meme and then 1 AI? Yeah.
No, we'll do 2. Oh yeah, no, 1 more. We've only got 1 more space. What have we just done? We've just done with, haven't we? Sorry.
On memes, so we've got BTC Sol with.
Right. Okay. So shall we? Yeah. What should we do? Should we just go all out memes today, or should we do 1 meme, 1 AI?
Okay. Should we do memes because of the Trump one?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, don't do the Trump one.
Right. You want to do Trump? Yeah.
Yeah. No way you're gonna be able to read this chart. It's only about 5 hours old.
I might. Let me stop sharing and go on Dex Screener for this. Where are we? There. Trump. Right. This is a 15-minute chart, obviously, because it's still a baby. What do we think? That support needs to hold.
It will hold. Right, support will hold. Don't you worry about that. I'm gonna say $100.
What?
I'm gonna say $100.
Oh god, if that goes there, I'm gonna be kicking myself. Yeah, 160%. It's doable.
Wow. I'll tell you why. I reckon people are itching for him to say or do anything for them to send it. Anything. And I think if he does anywhere near a halfway crazy executive order that is anything like crypto strategic reserve or anything along those lines, if he even mentions crypto, this thing goes to 100.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing I thought was quite funny, I was watching this the other day, it might be a bit sad of me, but the size in dollar terms of the transactions going through on this were ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the biggest transaction I saw was 32 million in one transaction. Like they're massive. And then you saw the occasional little fish coming in with $2.
But those will be bots. And because there's so much liquidity in this thing, you can move that amount of money. You can move a couple of million and not shake the price.
I'm in 2 decisions here. I think we can sweep this week. So I think we could go back to the lows of around 30. But then like you say, I think we do probably hear something within the next week. So I think you'll see this bounce. It's just a matter of how high. I'm going to be conservative. I'm going to say 50. I think we'll see a decent bounce.
I think we'll probably see 50 today. That's very conservative. We'll see 50 in the next half an hour. The way it's been moving, I think when he was speaking, we was at 50. Because what is that on now? 15 minutes?
Yeah. So if I go hour, 3 hours ago is it?
Yeah.
But we've seen it done. I mean, I think we could come back in lower. I mean, that must have been when the
Millennia. That was a millennium come out. Yeah.
I mean, that is awful.
That's crazy, isn't it? When I looked at it, I thought, I thought my screen was acting.
Right. Another one. What do I want to do? Should we do Miggles?
What did you say for Trump? 50. Did you go?
50. We'll do Miggles whilst it's here. I think it'll be one of the best performers on base.
Don't fade Mr. Niggles.
Do not fade the Miggles. As you can see, we're still in this channel. Very boring, very slow. Surrounded by areas of interest for me. I managed to snipe some in here on that wick. I'm going to be conservative. I think we could... I'll say back up to the bid box above it. So I want to be a tad bullish and go 0.07. Yeah, for Miggles.
I am going to go 0.04 bearish.
Oh, we're coming in.
Coming into that buy box. I think Trump is sucking up all of this meme juice.
I mean, to be fair though, Miggles hasn't really been affected.
No, but it hasn't actually. No, you're right. No, yeah, there's no. It is
held up pretty strong. The base warriors haven't been selling.
No, look at yesterday's. I guess that's because it's not on Solana. Look at yesterday 9 o'clock. Can you get yesterday at 9 o'clock and see what happened?
9 a.m.
No, 9 p.m. On what is it?
Like 9 o'clock there.
Yeah. Oh, so that's the drop.
A red candle.
Yeah. That's
is 20%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still something.
Yeah.
It's just that when you're looking at it on,
didn't look as bad on the daily.
Doesn't look that bad, does it?
Yeah, not that bad on the daily.
Right. So to recap, we've got Bitcoin. I'm saying 94.5. You're saying 112. So you've gone with 280. I've gone with 200. We're both the same on WIF at 180. Trump, really bullish from you on 100. Tad bullish from me at 50. Bearish on Miggles for you at 0.04. And then slightly bullish from me on 0.07. So let's see how they perform.
Yeah, we done well last week.
Yeah. Was it 3 out of 4?
4 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Over 50%. That's what we like. Maybe we're coming back to winning ways after a couple of weeks of being off.
Do you know what? I think when it's over such a short time as 1 week, like it's quite lottery-ish, especially when things are really volatile. It's quite lottery-ish. So as long as the thesis is good, you win some, you lose some. If we can get out with over half of them right, then we're doing great.
I think that I want to just say to everyone that's watching and you're still here is do not feel bad if you're entering now. It's no one, even us lot, who have been here for a while. It's not an easy spot to go, really bullish from here. Right. It's difficult. It's not easy.
Yeah.
So don't deep it too much. And if you are buying stuff like I showed earlier on that is already down 40-50% from the highs, it's not a bad entry.
I think those are the best entries. I'm going to come off it now and I'm going to buy FXN. I think those are the best entries. You want to buy those red candles. You don't want to buy the green ones because that always ends up bad.
Yeah. All right then. Right, we shall see you all soon. Stay tuned for next week.
Yeah, next week we'll do, and CryptoSI's corner we'll do liquidity providing.
Yeah.
How to provide liquidity and earn money off it. So
Yeah, and I think so. Maybe after that, I'll do maybe a bit of TA, like just support, resistance, and recognition, stuff like that.
yeah. All right, then, Geezer. I will see you next week.
Adios, everyone.